It's time for Thunder at the Fair with Mitch Nellis.
Broadcasting live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
This is Thunder at the Fair. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Absolutely unbelievably beautiful day here at the State Fair. I had the Scotty Cup from Freeze's Candy Shop. That is a cup full of fresh, amazing strawberries with chocolate sauce poured over them, and then their homemade marshmallow fluff and their homemade toffee bits on top. I didn't fit it. Don't worry, I'm still on my diet. I didn't finish it. But that's the beauty of the fairs. Like, taste everything, enjoy it. So many great smells, so many great tastes here at the fair. They also, Freeze's Candy Shop, also do heavenly roasted nuts. And who hasn't smelled the amazingness of heavenly roasted nuts? Just so good there in West Dallas. It's great to be here. It's great to be at the fair. Love being here from 11 to 2. Definitely miss Mason and Tommy. Love when Tommy jumps on. Love when I do the crosstalk with them at the end of their show every day. But joining us now, a guy I've known for a long time, and I got to play a little softball with him down in Beloit at the Mason Crosby Border Brouhaha. He is, he's basically known by one name here in Wisconsin. He is Jocko. Mike Jacques joins the show. Jocko, how you doing, my friend?
I am just fired up to be on your show. We've known each other for a million years, but I don't think we've ever talked on the radio. So, and I wish that we could have been at the fair together, but it just did not work out. So, to be on your show, Thunder, I've had a great week from going 3 for 3 at Mason Crosby softball game, and then to have a bobblehead night on Friday at the Boyd Sky Carp game to now being on your show. It's been one heck of a week.
I appreciate that. What I would say to you, my friend, is be careful what you wish for.
Right.
Because you're now on speed dial for me and for Mason Crosby. So every 5 seconds, we're going to be like, what's going on with the mattress? What's going on? What's going on? How did the bobblehead come out? Did it bear a resemblance? Did it, you never know with the bobblehead.
Right, and you know what? There are many different times that we had to go back and kind of change it a little bit. It was made in China, so we had to go back, and I originally sent them my headshot, there was a little bit of a shadow underneath my nose.
Okay.
For my headshot, so they gave me a mustache originally. And I don't have a mustache.
No, you do not.
And then
did you get to go to? Did you have to go to China? Did you have to go to China to check out the specs?
About it, but they got my hair right and my smile right, and my dentist is happy, and so is my hairstylist. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, as long as they got that, the hair is key. Jocko, thank you so much for jumping on and joining us. We are at the Wisconsin State Fair. Do you have any fair memories? Do you have any fair favorite things to eat, go-to that you have to have when you're here at Wisconsin State Fair?
Favorite memory, I saw my first concert at the State Fair, which would be Captain and Tennille with my parents back in, I think it was 1937. My dad, notorious.
That sounds about right.
My dad had I'm pretty sure he had to bring out the crowbar to open up his wallet. But somehow he splurged on Captain and Tennille tickets at
I can't believe they brought you. I would have thought they would have just done fancy date night for Captain and Tennille. Who's bringing the kids? Who's bringing the kids to Captain and Tennille?
It was amazing. Captain and Tennille at the grandstand, 1937. I'm pretty sure it was, and I'll never forget it. And that was first concert for Jocko and the family, and It was amazing. I would say, Saz's, you can't pass on Saz's.
No, you can't go wrong with Saz's, that's for sure.
Left Lucky Town is now a staple for me, but anything obviously deep fried, cheese curds. A kid growing up in Greeno, Wisconsin, the staple was, the State Fair was a staple for me. So it was
absolutely.
It was great.
All right, well, Jocko, we just had a pretty heated discussion right here on Thunder at the Fair. We read through the list of the 51 teams in the college football universe. The top 25 in the coaches poll, plus the 26 other receiving votes. We read names like Vanderbilt and Buffalo and TCU and SMU and Illinois and Minnesota. And there was a name missing from that list that for 20 years, it would have been unfathomable to not have the Wisconsin Badgers. Maybe not in the 25, maybe in others receiving votes, but absolutely on that list of 51. They're nowhere to be found right now. What is wrong? What is broken? How do we fix it? What do we do for our Badgers football team? On Wisconsin, exactly.
Yeah, Thunder, as a guy who grew up, in the state, and a guy who's covered the Badgers for now over 25 years, and now who's, covered them very closely at WMTV, it's just crazy to know that the Badgers are not a respected program. But I do think, and people will doubt that when I say this, that Luke Fickell will turn this program around. I know that it's only been a couple of years.
You said it out loud. You said it out loud.
I did say it out loud, and you can keep the tape rolling and save it for later. But I do think that this year's schedule is god-awfully tough, and it may not be this. I do hope he gets one more year, and I don't think that they'll pull the trigger this year, no matter how bad it gets, unless we're looking at 0-12. But I don't think that's the case. I do think that the Badgers will do better than people will give them credit for this year. I do think they'll finish respectfully this year. I think they got a good, solid lineup. I think they finally got a quarterback in Madison under Luke Fickell with Billy Edwards Jr. coming from Maryland. I do think that he will have this offense rolling a little bit this year. But you're right. Let's go back to the original question. I mean, it is crazy to know that.
It's crazy.
There were years when they were 22 or 23, and you'd be like, what's wrong with the Badgers this year? They're only ranked 22 or 23 in the AP poll or the coaches poll. And let me do a little self-bragging this year. Maybe this is not a good self-brag until the poll comes out, but I am an official for the first time in my life. I am on the AP voting poll for football.
Wow, mazel tov.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mazel tov to me, right?
Yes.
Can you do that? Can you mazel tov yourself?
I mean, technically, I don't know if you can be underwhelmed and you can be overwhelmed. I don't know if you can be whelmed.
Thank you. Well, thank you for the mazel tov. So, but it's pretty cool. But until some, I know I'm going to start getting harassed by if I vote for the wrong team at the wrong time. They'll be like, how come Jocko didn't vote for this team? But it is weird not to know that the Badgers are not even receiving votes in a preseason poll, and they probably won't get votes maybe at all this year. But who knows? They may surprise some people and pull off some wins. But like we said, the schedule is awfully tough.
It is.
I know that in the middle of the Big Ten season, it is going to get brutal, but you never know until you get out there and face those teams and see what we can do. So,
Mike Jocko, Jacques joining us here on Thunder at the Fair, sports director at WMTV 15 News in Madison. And Jocko, is there a chance that looking at the schedule that the team is better, the team is significantly better, but it doesn't show up in wins and losses? And the follow-up to that is, if that ends up being the case, how do the fans stay patient after the past couple of years, seeing a team that potentially could go 4-8, could go 6-6, but let's say they go 4-8, but play much better on the field, just run up against the wrong team at the wrong time? How do you explain that to a fan base that the team is actually getting better?
Yeah, I just think that's going to be tough. I mean, this is the year that, year 3 is the year that people want to see results. And then you look at the schedule, and it's the hardest year for Luke Fickell as far as that goes. And it's just going to be – it'll be hard for the average fan to see that, and it'll be hard for, the above-average fan to see that, because you want results in year 3. But I do think that there's – I looked at a list, of these players. They've got some playmakers, and Vinny Anthony Jr. at wide receiver, and Tretch, and Darian Dupree at running back, there's a list of guys on offense that can do some things, and they got some guys on defense that can make some big plays. I'm going to look at a guy like Ricardo Holman at cornerback that maybe will stick out, and fans will see. They've got some playmakers. Will that hopefully turn into wins? Yes, because people want to see results. They want those results on the left-hand side as far as wins. I do think that they'll reach. It all goes back to that original question of I would laugh if you told me 6-6 was going to be a great record 5-6 years ago. Like what? That's horrible, because even back when you'd say the Badgers finished 9-3, you'd be like, what happened? Or even 8-4, you'd be like, what happened? But college football has changed so much, and I do think that Wisconsin has the money to pay these players, and they have the fans and the guys that are fans and have the money to pay these players. But unfortunately, there are some programs that maybe have some more money and some more the fan base to pay these guys more money. So unfortunately, they kept up with the times, but maybe not enough. And there's bigger programs with bigger wallets, but I do think that the results will be there. I'm an optimist, eternal optimist, and hopefully 6-6 or 7-5, and the results will be there. If it is 4-8, and it is a better team, hopefully people can see past that, and then on to next year, and things will be even better.
Love your optimism, Mike. Jocko, Jacques joining us here.
Did I tell you on that, Thunder, or not?
You know what? You did an okay job. I don't know if I'm fully buying, but you made a good case for it. And so we of course have to jump off of something that you just talked about. In the last segment, again, when we were talking about the Badgers, Tommy Wirtz, who is the producer of the Mason Crosby Show and also hosts the Brewers Leadoff Show, he is a huge Badger football fan, and he asked the question, isn't the Badgers a top 25 job, the head coaching job?
Yeah.
And my answer was, it always has been. And the only question we have is the NIL money there? Because for prestige, for success in the past 20 years, absolutely it's a top 25 job. And when the hiring of Lou Fickell was made, he was a top 25 guy. So it made sense. Where does that balance with where the university is today in terms of NIL, in terms of those dollars, that it's probably not going to be able to compete with Texas or Ohio State or some of the ultimate biggest schools, but at that next level, is Wisconsin in that conversation?
Yes, you're right, and it'll never compete with Alabama and Texas and all the schools that you mentioned. But I think that's where the NCAA's got to find the limit, right? That are we gonna just keep topping these schools that are gonna be I think that's where the NIL or paying players was kind of putting a fair ground on for playing ground, that players needed to be paid, and it's only fair to them. But now it's becoming even more unfair of a playing ground for some schools like Wisconsin. And I just think that Wisconsin was a top 25 job, and I think it still is. But, is the NIL money going to be there as far as paying the players and getting the players here? It's a good question. I hope that in the end, looking down 3 or 4 years when the NCAA does figure this out, if the NCAA is still here 3 or 4 years from now, right? I mean, it's hard to tell. The future is so muddy right now, just from where this money's coming from, where players are going to be paid from. Is it fair that a kid from Texas is going to, and I just pulled Texas out of there, or Alabama, the quarterback is going to be making $10 million, and the kid from Wisconsin is going to make $2 million. Or are they going to, we were talking with Wisconsin basketball, now they're starting to regulate, which is crazy to me. A point guard is going to be paid this much money no matter where he goes to Ohio State, whether he goes to Wisconsin, whether he goes to Illinois, that kind of thing.
I mean, that evens things out a little bit, right?
Right. So, I mean, when that comes to football, then Wisconsin is back to being a top-tier job. Right now, If I were a football coach, I'd rather go to Ohio State. I'd rather go to Alabama. I'd rather go to Texas when those, if those jobs are open. But right now, maybe Wisconsin doesn't seem like that type of job just because of the money being paid to the players. Unfortunately,
Mike, go ahead.
I was going to add, when Paul Chryst was there, and when when the Badgers were 10-2, 11-1, or 9-3, and they were making some pretty serious bowl games, and I think Luke Fickell was going to take it to the next level. Things did change. I'm a big fan of Luke Fickell, and I still, like I said before, I still think, he's an awesome coach, and he could take them to the promised land. The landscape changed in a big way, almost like when he was signing his contract. So why weren't they able to be like, what went so wrong so quickly? Like, why weren't they able to know that things were going to change, and or was it that Fickell tried to make too many changes on the field too quickly? Like, what went so wrong so quickly? I think it was like this blow up of huge proportions as far as how many good players were left when Paul Chryst left. Not that Paul Chryst left the cupboards completely bare, but I think a lot of people left at the who was coming in at that time, who was leaving at that time, and who changed, what players Luke Fickell brought in that time and who they were able to send. I mean, like, it just seemed like the perfect storm, a storm in a bad way that kind of blew everything up for Wisconsin at that time, and everything just kind of went south in a big way, and it blew up Wisconsin, and then now they're rebuilding and trying to get back to the promised land.
All right, Jocko, well, now that we've had you on the show, like I said, we're going to put you on speed dial. I've got 1,000 more questions to ask about the Badgers and about college sports, but I'm going to switch gears real quick. How excited are you about the Milwaukee Brewers? How much fun are they right now? And how are you managing your expectations knowing they are the greatest team in the history of the earth on August 5th, 2025, but that there's still 50 games left in the regular season?
It is crazy, again, kid that grew up in Greendale, went to County Stadium to a million games, went to, I go to take the kids. I have 3 kids. We live in Madison. We go to about, I've seen you at Bucks games. I've seen you at Brewer games.
Sure.
We try to get down to as many games as we can. Schedule allowed. We cover Brewer games. Probably get to about 10 Brewer games a year with the family. This is awesome. I almost just swore on the radio because it is.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's hard not to.
Just what the guys are doing, and it's hard to because of what has happened in the past. How things have gone. But it's just so exciting. I think of Milwaukee as just a baseball city, and to think ahead, to think of how the city would react.
Oh my gosh! Just relax.
I think of the parade.
Don't even.
Okay. Like, we won't talk about it, but I think of the parade for the Bucks and how awesome it was. 50 years in waiting, and to be there and to shed tears for that.
Same.
For a baseball. For a celebration like that for the Brewers, as a kid who was actually alive in 1982, to enjoy that, I was really young, mind you, but
understood.
Just the excitement of Brewers baseball, even for the last how many years that Mark Antonasio's on the Brewers and how well they've done, but now this next level and the excitement of what guys are bringing. This team, just the way they've come together, and the way they started, against the Yankees, and like, this is kind of where this thing ends with, how well they've done. And all of a sudden, this is going to turn into crap, and and all of a sudden they now where they are now with 3 games up on the Cubs, and it's August 5th, and just keep this going.
Just keep it going, right? Just keep it going. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep it going.
And I didn't even say a word about percentages and Miz and Andrew Vaughn, right, and what a story that's been, and Christian Yelich coming back and hitting dingers, but it just the excitement
Isaac
level.
Collins, Quinn Priester, Caleb Durbin. I mean, just like literally everybody you mentioned, it's a story.
I had tickets next to Quint Priester's family. Somehow I got them from AmFam. I'm not throwing this out there, but I am now. But I have some AmFam tickets, and I sit next to Priester's family. And to see their, I think they were kind of like, it was one of his first starts, and they were like, yeah, he's so excited because he's getting an opportunity. And now to see this opportunity, what he's done with this,
he's like the best pitcher in baseball.
Is amazing, right? I mean, right. He was excited because
he's the best ever.
He was like, what am I going to do with this? I'm sure sometimes, it's still like, I got traded to Milwaukee. Not anymore. Like, this kid has this opportunity to be with one of the best clubs in baseball, and what he's done with this opportunity, it's so cool. And I could tell, like, it was his grandma and his mom, and they were so excited to see their kid's face. He pitched so well. I think it was his first start in Milwaukee or second start in Milwaukee, and you could tell, they left after he, finished up his 6 innings. It was just like, you could feel it in your heart, because as a dad, as a dad, as a parent, they were like, this is awesome. So it's just cool. This whole story is awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And hopefully we're just along for the ride, and it continues, and it's just been an absolute blast. So I totally agree with you. And let's enjoy it. Let's not get too out of control with it. But it's okay to enjoy it every day and just be part of it and soak it all in.
The journey is the reward.
Amen, brother. Mike Jocko, Jacques, and sports director at Channel 15 in Madison, WMTV 15 News. And Jocko, absolute pleasure, absolute honor to have you on the show today. We'll definitely do it soon. And not infrequently, and thank you for jumping on today.
Every single time, brother. I'm ready for you.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. That is Mike Jocko, Jacques from Madison on WMTV 15 News. Just does an absolutely awesome job covering the Badgers, but also covers the Brewers and the Bucks and everything Wisconsin. He is just like true Wisconsin. So awesome to have him on the show. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. You're listening to Thunder at the Fair. We are at the Wisconsin State Fair. It is, again, just a picture, perfect day here at the Wisconsin State Fair. The only thing that would make this picture better is if you were on YouTube right now, and instead of seeing Charlie Usin in our studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, if he was out here at the State Fair, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That's the only thing that would make it better, Charlie. If it was just big bro hug and just eating turkey legs together, man.
Oh, that sounds great to me. I said, one of these days I'll get out there.
Rock and roll. Let's do it. Again, our thanks to Jocko for jumping on the fan guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's Jocko jumping on. And awesome to have him on the Gruber Law hotline. We will come back to wrap that. Well, not quite wrap things up, but we've got a few more news and notes to get to from Packers practice today. Some news. I love when Andy Herman gets on the Twitter machine and tells us every play-by-play that's happening. So we'll do a little quick research and see what happened today at Packers practice, and then we'll set things up for Sparky coming up at 2. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, is at 2 o'clock right here at the Wisconsin State Fair. You're listening to Thunder at the Fair on the Fan. This is Thunder at the Fair. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder, at the Wisconsin State Fair, and it is an absolutely lovely, beautiful day. We are enjoying the drinks and the food and the sights and the sounds and all that is encompassed by spending the day at the fair. But 90 miles north, I know lots of people are enjoying Packers training camp and everything that went along there. Before we get to Packers training camp, Charlie, I did want to make mention Shams Sham Chump Change came out with he feels a need to talk about Giannis every day. And just like Giannis literally at a card show like 2 days ago was talking about how he's all in on Milwaukee. Actually, Mrs. Thunder sent me an article. There's an article on The Athletic right now about how Giannis is investing right now in Victor Wembanyama stuff. Because he thinks Wemby is the next big thing and Wemby's going to be, and so he's like buying like Wemby signed jerseys and Wemby cool photos and holograms and all that sort of stuff because he thinks that's where he thinks there's going to be a good market for that. So good on him. I think we've all thought for the last couple of years that like Giannis and Wemby playing together would be really cool. I just think, the odds that it happens in Milwaukee, I think, are much, much lower than happening in San Antonio just based on age and rookie contract and all that sort of stuff for Wemby in San Antonio. But that's a cool thing for Giannis to get involved in, to see who's up next and to invest in that sort of thing. But Sham, Sham Chump Change came out and talked about how Giannis is still in play and he's still trying to figure out what to do and blah, blah, blah. And remember, Dame didn't get traded till September, and Kyrie Irving didn't get traded till August. Man, Chump Change, shut up, dude. Enough. You're garbage. You're never going to be Woj. Everybody knows you're not Woj. You're just a joke at this point. So, shut your mouth and go, talk about everybody else and leave Giannis alone because you don't know. You don't know. And for you to talk like you don't know. You're just being an idiot. And it's not okay. You're being irresponsible. You're being disrespectful. And this is your job. People loved Woj. They loved Woj bombs. Supposedly they love Shams and love Shams bombs. And you're just not. You're not him. Okay? When you embarrass yourself on national TV and think you can get away with it because you're talking about Giannis and people don't pay attention to Milwaukee, you are a joke. You are embarrassing, and it's enough already. Enough. Maybe I'll tweet that and tag him in it and see what he says. I mean, he won't respond. Nobody cares what anybody says in Milwaukee. But man, do I sound like Bart Winkler enough right now?
You do sound a little.
Was that full on Bart Winkler right now?
That was pretty good.
I love
Pretty good impersonation.
And Bart's going to be on the show later this week. We got Bart booked for the show because we're at the State Fair, so we got to catch up with our good buddy Bart. But I feel like I felt like Bart a little bit there, but it's true. Sham Chump Change is a sham, and he's not Woj, and that's that. So we'll we might listen to it tomorrow. We might not. I don't know if Sparky's going to play it. And it's on our radar because it's Giannis stuff, but it's not it's still garbage. All right, but what I do care about and what I do like talking about is our absolute best friend Andy Herman, who is at Packers camp. And if you don't follow Andy Herman on Twitter, you're wrong. It's at Andy Herman NFL, and he does play-by-play. Legit, play-by-play during the periods they're allowed to tweet at training camp. And I just think it's so much fun to go down and read what he's talking about and go down. So he's got I'm gonna go in reverse order of, so I'm gonna go newest tweet first, so reverse order of how it happened at practice. The ones are up again. It's 3rd and 2, 10 seconds left, one timeout, ball at about the opposing 40. Love buys time, but throws it away. McManus has to boot a 57-yarder. McManus absolutely crushes it right down the middle. Looked good from 90. Charlie, McManus is just I feel, I know it's training camp, and I know it's not the pressure of a game, but is it? Are we oversimplifying things by saying dude is just awesome, and we don't have to worry about the kicking game, and we are good to go, and that is that?
I don't think you're oversimplifying things. I think that when you look at the situation the Green Bay Packers have been in for the 5 years prior to this, since Mason Crosby left that team, it's kind of been a struggle. So it's been nice to not have to worry about the kicking position for once and have your focus set on other things.
Absolutely. I think you said it as succinctly as needed to be said. Thank you for summing it up. That's why Charlie Usin is, well, if Andy Herman's the absolute best, Charlie is the second absolute best.
I'll take it.
Yep, let's see. The twos are up. They run a quarterback power to the right side. Willis, as the defense is almost everyone back in coverage. Willis gets out of bounds, and McManus drills another kick. Another 2 minute, let's see. They get they're down one, ball near at midfield. 15 seconds left, no timeouts, 1st and 10. Love completes to Reed for about 15. They spike the ball, and McManus drills it. So, just unbelievable what McManus is doing. Let's see, this one was fun. Twos are up in a 2 minute drill. Willis completes his outside to his tight end for about 5. Defensive penalty, it's now 1st and 5. Willis with a nice back shoulder throw to Hicks. That's Julian Hicks, first-year wide receiver out of Albany. Can't make the one-handed catch. Robinson was there with good coverage. Willis, deep shot on a post, complete to Shepard. Defense completely lost him. Ball in the 15, clock ticks. Willis goes fast, doesn't see anyone, throws it away. Willis buys time again, but throws it away. 20 seconds left, down 7, ball in the 15, 3rd and 10. Willis tries Heath. Heath can't quite get there by the pylon. Heath wanted a penalty call. 4th down. Willis to Hardman, touchdown on 4th down. Gorgeous ball from Willis to Hardman. Hardman beat King easily. They go for 2. Willis read option keeper, unreal sidearm throw to Julian Hicks for 2. Huge drive from Willis, his best of the camp. It's just I know it's the twos, and I know it's in training camp. And I know they haven't even played their first game yet. It's Saturday night at home, 7 o'clock against the Jets. Charlie, this gets me a little juiced. This gets me a little excited. Willis sidearmed for 2, just absolutely, blasted into Hicks for the 2-point conversion. It's this is football, right? This is exciting. Football is here, my friend.
This is what most people that are NFL fans are waiting for, is just to get this type of action, hear the fun plays, see the highlights as much as you can see of them from these reporters. It doesn't really matter what camp. I just love hearing all the stuff from across the NFL, and it's more fun that this is the team I get to talk about, and they're a lot of fun too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The Packers are the most fun team to talk about, and it's just that's just the truth. I love this one. McManus misses his second field goal of camp. He hit the left upright, doinked it from 53. Then he drills a 56-yarder. He doinks a 53-yarder, so instead he just drills a 56-yarder. He's now 41 for – well, at that point he was 41 for 43. I think he had 3 more to end things, so he's 44 46 at this point. And I didn't know Andy was allowed to swear in his tweets. Do we have is there a clause about language and tweets?
I don't think so. I think that's fair game.
All right, McKinney back with the ones in the 2 minutes. Zane Anderson in for Williams. Lots of rotating. 1 minute left. Ball in your own 45. 1st and 10. Down 7. No timeouts. What a beep throw by Love on an anticipation throw. Deep out to Reed. Feet just in. Out of bounds. 1st down. Wow. Throw away by Love on the next play, right decision there. 2nd down, 48 seconds left. Love buys time, finds Jacobs for the check down, 6 yards and out of bounds. Love to Musgrave, 1st down, out of bounds. Ball in the 20, 36 seconds left. Throw away by Love. Love throws late across his body, deep middle of the end zone. Not sure what he saw. Lands out of bounds, barely, harmlessly incomplete. Jordan Morgan, 2 really nice blocks in a row at left tackle against Sorrell and Enagbare. Another throw from Love, another throwaway from Love. 4th down upcoming, 16 seconds left. Need a touchdown. Love throws to Jacobs at the pylon. Might have had a chance, but it goes out of bounds. Incomplete. You know what, Charlie? The offense can't win every time. Sometimes the defense makes plays. Sometimes there's a little pressure. Sometimes there's good coverage. It's kind of funny when you're at your own training camp and you're cheering for the offense and the defense. Isn't that I don't know, it's just a little funny.
It's a little bit.
It'll be nice.
I think more often in camps you see the defenses win too. So the fact that they may be
especially
struggling
early.
at points, yeah, definitely. I think the fact that they may be struggling in periods here isn't that big of a deal. Also because the offense has looked pretty dang good from what I've seen and heard over the course of this training camp so far. They can earn a day like this where they're a little down.
Yeah, and so I think that it's just fun to keep our eye on. It's fun to keep watch of everything going on at training camp because it's just like, as long as, again, no injuries, right? No injuries. Please no injuries. Please no injuries. But beyond that, like, let's have fun as fans. Like, I don't know if the players are having fun, and I don't really care if the players are having fun. But let's have fun watching. Let's have fun soaking it all in. And there's a game Saturday night, again, against the Jets. And some of our favorite players might play early. And according to the coach, maybe Jordan Love will play a series or so. Or maybe he won't. But he's made up his mind about it, at least, as we know from earlier in the show. We might not know the full answer. But it does sound like that, his guys are football players and they expect to play football. And so that's what he said. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder Charlie Usen, back in the fan studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We're on 1250 AM. We're on 105.7 FM. The Fan. We are on the free Odyssey app, also the free iHeart app, wherever you find your podcast. So wherever you're listening to your podcast, just search the name of the show, The Mason Crosby Show, Wisconsin Sports Daily, whatever it might be. And we are there with you, and we are there for you. We'll come back to wrap things up. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on his way in here at the Wisconsin State Fair. This is Thunder at the Fair on The Fan. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is Thunder at the Fair. My name is Mitch Nelson, a.k.a. Thunder. Thunder at the Fair presented to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, where right now the Milwaukee Brewers are minus 148 tonight with an over-under of 7.5. Freddie is on the mound for our Milwaukee Brewers at 6:15. That's a first pitch on Fox 6 in the Milwaukee area this evening. Weather pending. There is weather in the Atlanta area, so keep your eye out for that. Hopefully it won't be a situation like Saturday night was at Bristol Motor Speedway, where they just had tons and tons of rain and things got really messy there. Hopefully they are able to play this one and get that one taken care of. But Freddie Peralta on the mound for our Milwaukee Brewers. We got a lot of things today. A lot of things happened today. A lot of things going on the show today. A reminder, Drew Wagner will join Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's at 2:40 with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. Sparky will take over in just about 10 minutes or so. He is already here at the Wisconsin State Fair. I think he went to go get his daily Diet Coke or whatever it is that he drinks. The leadoff show will then be on at 5 o'clock here at the Wisconsin State Fair. Tommy, the Kmart model Wirtz, will be here at 5 o'clock for the leadoff show, and we'll be previewing all that. I know he's got some Quinn Priester sound from last night. He's got some Pat Murphy sound as well, so that should be great. Shams is dumb. I wrote that down, so keep that in mind. The Badgers are not good, ... yet. But Jocko told us they might be getting a little bit better, so we'll keep our eye on that. Quinn is the best, and Collins is the best. We talked to our Major League Baseball insider, Gabe Locke, about that, and he's a national writer from USA Today. Lots of love for the Brewers, so thanks to him for jumping on. Lily Zhao, also from Fox 6, where the Brewers game is tonight. She was on today. And nervous about Nate Hobbs. Not feeling great. If you missed the news earlier, Nate Hobbs with a knee scope and nothing major, but going to be out basically for the rest of training camp. And the hope is that he is ready to rock and roll and play again for week 1 against the Detroit Lions. Charlie, I know you play this game with Sparky every day, but I'm going to make you play it with me. Did we miss anything? Did we, I know we didn't get deep into the Giannis story, but we at least mentioned it. I know there's a bunch of sports headlines nationally. Anything on your mind besides a turkey leg that we may have missed?
Well, that is on my mind. That is definitely on my mind.
I hope so. It better be.
Rams running back Kyron Williams reached agreement on a 3-year, $33 million extension, including $23 million guaranteed per Drew Rosenhaus and Adam Schefter. So that's a pretty big deal for the LA Rams. It's a lot of money.
Not bad.
It's kind of a lot of money to guarantee a running back nowadays based off of the way that people have gone about running back contracts recently. Like James Cook hasn't really gotten a deal like that.
Nope, he's still waiting. Is he sitting in? Like I think, he's there, but he's not practicing. I agree with you about Williams. You look at that 3-year 33, and I would have guessed like at max half is guaranteed. Mm-hmm. So to see like more than 2/3 is guaranteed. That's more than normal for a running back. Totally agree. Good point.
Well, and especially since they drafted a guy like Blake Corum last year too, who they were probably expecting to take on some kind of percentage of that role at some point there. If we stay in the NFL, Teddy Bridgewater, former NFL quarterback, is apparently visiting with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and is expected to sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after 1 year of leading his high school team to a championship and then getting ousted from his high school for illegally helping players, I guess. It wasn't really that big of a deal. Apparently, he was giving them rides home, like feeding them meals and stuff, and the school and the town didn't really like it.
Stupid Florida rules when it came to allegedly providing impermissible benefits to his players. He literally, you're right, he paid for Uber rides and meals and recovery services after injuries and stuff like that because he's a millionaire and plays quarterback in the NFL, but he does sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so we'll be backing up Baker Mayfield. So we'll keep our eye on that. But really, all focus is the Brewers again tonight. That's our daily focus here. It's like they are the best team in Major League Baseball. They have the best record in Major League Baseball. They are 3 games up on the second-place team. and they just keep cruising. And I'm really, like I said, I'm really interested to see how Freddie responds from his last outing. Not a good one. If he can pound the strike zone a little bit more, stay away from those walks, don't nibble, just go after the hitters. The Braves aren't that good. A number of their hitters are hurt. They're still major leaguers, but you got to go out and get it done. So, Freddie Peralta, we will be watching you tonight. Wisconsin Sports Daily served up by Wendy's coming up next here at the Fair from 2 to 5. The leadoff show from 5 to 6 coming up here at the Fair as well. All the smells, all the good things. One more shout out for the Scotty Cup from Freeze's Candy Shop. Just delicious strawberries with chocolate sauce and marshmallow fluff and toffee bits and all the yummy deliciousness. That was the pick today at the Wisconsin State Fair. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer is next with Wisconsin Sports Daily right here on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, thefanmilwaukee.com, the free Odyssey app, the free iHeart app, everywhere you listen to your podcast. That's where you will find us. And on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. Remember, you do need the @ at The Fan Milwaukee. This has been Thunder at the Fair on The Fan. Sparky is next.